What's going on, guys? It's Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and joined with me is Christian. And the summer blockbuster season has just begun, and it seems like we've been given a gift from the shonen gods themselves. We finally have the 5th Naruto Shippuden movie, Blood Prison, and we just checked it out, and we're going to give you guys our thoughts on it, and we're going to review it for you. So here it is.
So the overall plot to Naruto Blood Prison is that someone's going around killing people, and it looks like Naruto. And then all of a sudden we see Naruto, and he's like in Tsunade's office, and everyone's there, and he gets arrested pretty much and gets put away in this little cage, and they send him off to the Blood Prison. And he's like, of course it wasn't me, I was eating ramen last night. But this is all part of the plot. And that is the beginning to Naruto Blood Prison. Oh, by the way, before we go any farther, you guys have got to know, we are assuming you've seen the movie when we review this. Because we're going to talk about a lot of things that may ruin some parts of the story. So just get ready for that.
So you got the general plot of the movie. Naruto is in prison, and basically the whole concept is he's just trying to figure a way how to get out of here, while all at the same time trying to solve this mystery of sorts with this main villain that's there. And there's a few other characters that have been thrown into this. One in particular that's very important is Ryuzetsu, which is this female character who has the Rinnegan eye. Not really. It looks like she has the Rinnegan eye, but she actually has some pretty cool abilities. She actually is able to summon these like orbs of fire that have like demon heads all over them, and it reminds me of that one Edo Tensei character recently that we've been seeing in the manga. But that's really not what's important here. But there were a lot of things that were cool in this movie. Obviously, the action is what shined here the most. There weren't too many action scenes, but there were some that I really liked. At the beginning of the movie, you had a scene where Raikage is being attacked by this other ninja who, looks like Naruto, but it's definitely not Naruto. And, it's just good to see the Raikage do something, once in a while. Unfortunately, this is all you're going to be able to see of him throughout the entire movie. But aside from Naruto himself, you're going to get to see a lot of the characters from the Konoha side, particularly the Rookie 9, get to do a few things. You get to see Killer Bee show up, who I'd say 90% of the time he's in his 8-tail form, just, rapping and, tentacling up shit and punching the crap out of these, like, monsters and stuff. So I can say that the action itself is pretty good. But the only thing I have a problem with this movie is that it's so annoyingly predictable that it bothers me a little. And that sucks because the actual plot of this movie is so different from the other Naruto movies where it's just like, hey, let's go on a mission. Naruto meets somebody and has a special connection with them. In this movie, it's completely different. Naruto is separated from all his friends completely and thrown into prison. And you're like, prison, that sucks. Blood Prison is the pussiest prison I've ever seen in my entire life. You'd think for a place called Blood Prison, there'd at least be blood all over the place, but no. These inmates not only get to walk around freely and have their own personal cells to themselves, but they get to have such delicious lunches. They have these giant bowls of ramen that have giant slices of pork and egg in them. They get to freely talk and exercise and just hang out. One of them even has a boombox and is walking around in plain sight with it. This prison is not very bloody. In fact, on the actual poster, you see Naruto clenching onto some barbed wire. There's no barbed wire throughout the entire film. This is practically Hogwarts.
Big open hallways. It's a Japanese Hogwarts. So they just walk around and hang out all day.
So not a very intimidating prison. If you want an intimidating prison, go to Impel Down, which is layer upon layer upon layer of death, all on top of a gay bar.
When it came to this movie, for me, the things that I really liked is some of the fight scenes at the end. Obviously, it's a movie, so at the end you're going to get the big battles with everyone's signature moves. But I think the end really does deliver pretty well in this movie. And Gamabunta really, he shows up in this movie. Naruto summons him, and they have a big flippin' monster battle. I won't necessarily give away what the last... Actually, we will talk about the last monster in a little bit, because he's so ridiculous looking. But Gamabunta shows up, and he honestly has some of the best fight scenes in this movie, straight up. There's not much more to it than that. There's some of the other people get some signature moves, but Gamabunta is like freestyle fighting with his sword, and the scale is awesome, and all you have is Gamabunta, the main bad guy, and Naruto, and it's just epic fighting.
And this main bad guy, holy crap. There's a whole subplot with this big-ass, evil box, which is protected by this group of ninja who all wear animal masks who get to do absolutely nothing, which is a complete waste of their character design. But the monster that comes out of this box is just insane. It's actually the son of the main villain, and he transforms into this freakish half crow, half whatever the hell he is. He's like a
Evangelion sort of monster.
Yeah, it's like a Final Fantasy summon monster or something. He feels like a level 5 boss.
It's got a mouth in the middle with tusks, and it doesn't make sense.
It's just
shoots feather shuriken.
A lot of the times, it's got a look on his face, just like durr.
Big goofy teeth.
But honestly, it's still a pretty cool design, and this thing does beat the crap out of everybody. It takes out the Konoha people, the Cloud Ninja, all the shitty ninja at the prison who have no names and get destroyed constantly.
It has some hockey ability, so it can predict your moves.
Mm-hmm.
It can read your fear.
It's a crossover with One Piece powers.
So, overall, what did we think of this movie? Well, good, but really predictable. Action is solid. It's good modern Naruto action. You kind of get snuffed on some of the characters, in my opinion. There's no QB whatsoever in this movie. It's not even really mentioned. I think you see the chakra, but Naruto's like never using it. So that's something to keep in mind. It's pure sage all the way. And the story is unique. Like, it's more than you would expect to get in these Naruto movies, because it's usually, like Corey was saying earlier, go on a mission, Naruto meets someone and inspires them, and, you know, and then a Rasengan to the end, and that's it. But this one mixes it up a little bit.
I mean, I kind of agree. This was an experimental Naruto movie, and the thing with shonen movies that are really difficult to do is you got to manage to create a story that's not only going to appease to the fans, but you also have to kind of try to make it, you know, fit in the overall story. And Blood Prison doesn't really fit into the actual story with, like, everything that's going on. Like, Naruto already knows Killer Bee, and there's a lot of little continuity things like that. But aside from that, there's some pretty solid action, decent animation. I still don't want to say movie quality, maybe OVA quality. And, you know, this is tough because we're just coming off the heels of The Sacred Star of Milos, and that was just such an incredible, you know, anime movie. And this one just felt kind of lackluster to me because the side characters were just so incredibly predictable. Like, when we saw that main female lead for the first time, they showed, like, a row of prisoners, and it was like, oh, I bet the one who has the intricate design and the only one that looks interesting is going to be the main character, aside from the other guys who are all brown and gray. So it's little things like that I don't really care for, but, you know, it was interesting. It was a good experimental movie. It shows that they can come up with some cool stories, and it shows promise for some of the later Naruto movies, so it wasn't a complete waste, but it still had its share of flaws. So because of that, we both agreed that we're going to give this movie a 7 out of 10.
Not a bad watch if you like Naruto, but definitely nothing special. I don't know if people will remember this movie for much in a few years after a few other ones come out. That is what we thought, guys, so let us know what you thought with the comments below. Also, if you enjoy this video, make sure and give us a big thumbs up. It's always appreciated. Helps a lot, guys. Okay, until next time, SuperKamiGuru9000, out.
Don't get shanked and raped in the Blood Prison, y'all.